I'm Christine, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here with my June TBR. So June is going to be a busy month, both with some reading trips, like I'm going to Book Bonanza, the book signing in Texas at the end of the month, as well as just like it's summertime here in Alaska. So my family and I go on a lot of little road trips and weekend camping adventures as well. So I'm going to try to stick to just like new releases this month because there are a ton of books coming out in June, as well as just some reads that I've been meaning to get to, or I've been waiting for like the Libby holds to come in and things like that. So having a TBR definitely helps me stick to books that I want to get to, like new releases. I like to read them anyways, and so having this like TBR to go back through, like I have a little checklist on my phone for like every month the books that are coming out, and I like to like check them off as I go. And of course I'm also a mood reader, so I definitely divert from my TBR here and there and go and read like some other books that I see people talking about or raving about, or some books I find last minute, or some like Libby holds that come in. So like my TBR isn't always set in stone, but it's there for me to like refer back to. But I'd say like 98% of the time I stick to my TBR or read all the books on my TBR as well. So for the book club read, Historical Hellions, the book club put on by Samantha from Books with Samantha and Jess from Peace Love Books, they are going to be reading Wild Land, Wild Love by Connie Mason. So I plan to read this one as well. I read usually like every book that they're reading for their book club as well. They're so fun to read some like older historicals. So they did a Connie Mason last year. That was a lot of fun. I think it was Ice and Rapture. So that one was fun. And now this one, it takes place in Australia, I want to say. I think there's even like a kangaroo on the cover, which I will show here. So I'm excited to check it out. Connie Mason always delivers on like adventure and just like some wild hijinks. So we will see what happens there in Australia. So for June, there are a ton of new releases, which I'm going to refer to my notes here that I have. So on June 1st is Good as Gold by Serena Bowen. I have read a ton of books by this author in the past. Always have a good time with them. I believe this one is either like the first in a new series or a complete like standalone. So either way, it's like a new one that you can just jump into, and I am excited to get to it. So this one, it says that the heroine goes through divorce and now she decides she wants to have a child of her own. And I believe she ends up asking like her crush at a bar one night, like, hey, would you be my baby daddy? And so it goes from there. I believe this one is actually like a spin-off from her True North series, which I had a great time with, so I'm excited to check it out. Also on June 1st is Shut Out by Avery Keelan. This is a follow-up to, or like exists in the same hockey world that her book Offside did, which I loved that one a couple months ago when I read it. I'm just like still in the hockey romance era, having a great time. And so I cannot wait for this book. I'll probably be reading it like at midnight when it drops. Another one for June 1st is What We Broke by Marley Valentine. I have never read anything from this author, but I have been wanting to forever. I believe they only write romances, and I know this one is like a marriage in trouble situation, and I saw like the audiobook narrators are Joe Arden and Teddy Hamilton, and I was like sold, don't need to know anymore. The cover is amazing. Can't wait, like Marriage in Trouble. I am so here for it. So yeah, that's out on June 1st. Then on June 2nd is The Unwanted Marriage by Katerina Mora. This is in her Windsor's series, I believe is what it's called. This one follows up like The Wrong Bride, The Temporary Wife. Those ones, I believe is what they are. But yeah, so I've been binging a bunch of this author's books like the past month and a half to get ready to meet her and realize like what books I wanted to grab from her when I'm at Book Bonanza. So yeah, this is the third one in the series and I'm excited to get to it. On June 5th, Forbidden Hearts by Corinne Michaels comes out. I have read an arc of this one and absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. You definitely need to check it out though when it drops. This one is a small town, age gap. He's 14 years older. It is single dad hero, nanny romance. Of course, forced proximity because they have to live together. It has grumpy hero, sunshine heroine. It's like all the good tropes and it is so good. I loved it so much. Then on June 7th is Anchor of Secrets by Tessa Hall. I read the first book from this author last month, which I believe was Legacy of Shadows. I think that's the name of it. And it is a why choose paranormal fated mates situation that I absolutely loved. And so I'm so excited to get to the second book because the first book left off on a cliffhanger and I was like, I need to know more. Like I need this story to keep going. Like when's the next book coming out? Like I need all the things. And on June 8th is Her Dangerous Beast by Scarlett Scott. This is the second book in her Rogues Guild series. So this one sounds really good. The hero is actually a royal prince who was exiled from his country and he is posing as a bodyguard to a duke in danger. And then he ends up meeting the heroine who is the duke's icy cold sister, and so it becomes their romance. I'm so excited for it. I always have a great time with Scarlett Scott's books, and I'm excited to check this one out. Then on June 9th is Reckless by Elsie Silver. If you don't have this one on your TBR, which I'm sure you all do, but if you don't, I definitely recommend. I read an arc of this one, absolutely loved it, gave it 5 stars. One of my favorite reads of May. This one, of course, is Small Town. We have that bull rider hero. And then this one is actually a secret baby romance. So like one night stand turned surprise pregnancy, turned into secret baby. I really liked how it was all handled. If you haven't read Elsie Silver, definitely recommend checking out this series. On June 13th is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. So this is the newest book from Ali. I have read all of her books and they're always a good time, and I'm excited to check this one out. I especially love like the yellow cover. I believe this one is doing like a trope that she hasn't done before. Could be wrong, but I believe that is the case. So also on June 13th is Good Catch by Carly Jean. I'm so excited for this one as well. I believe it's a debut from this author, and this one is a contemporary baseball romance. I am here for it. Again, I love the yellow and can't wait to check it out. June 15th is Crimson River by Devney Perry. This is the 5th book in the Edens series. So excited to get to it. I know this one is more like romantic suspense, kind of similar to how Indigo Ridge, the first book in the series, was. Anything Devney Perry I read all of her books, so excited for it. Also on June 15th is Keep Her Safe by QB Tyler. This one I believe is like a bodyguard romance, and like, I don't care. QB Tyler, I'm gonna read it, like I'm gonna have a good time. I'm so excited. I love the covers for this one. Then on June 16th is Home Run Proposal by Maren Moore. Again, this one is a baseball romance as well. So excited for it. Like, yes, we need more baseball romances. Can't wait to read it. Then on June 20th is On Thin Ice by L.A. Cotton. This one is the second book in her hockey romance series. So excited to get to it. I read Break the Ice last month, had a great time with that one. And now this is the second book, or like another book in the same series, the same world. So excited to get to it. Hockey romances, like, say less. Also on June 20th is Bookshop Cinderella by Laura Lee Gerke. I have an arc of this one. I need to get to it. This one, it's historical. I'm guessing like Cinderella retelling. Like, the cover is absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to read it. Then on June 22nd is Yours to Hold by Emily Silver. I am so excited for this one. The author reached out and sent me an arc of this one. Can't wait to get to it. I know it's small town. I believe it's single dad hero and a nanny romance. I was like, yes, please give that to me. I need it right now. On June 23rd is a monster romance. So we have Mantras and Minotaurs by Ashley Bennett. This is the third book in their like monster romance series that I've had a great time with, and I can't wait to get to this one. On June 26th is Cruel Summer by Morgan Elizabeth. I believe there's not a cover reveal yet, but so I'll just put up like the temporary little sneak peek of the cover. I don't even know too much about this one. I just know that I loved 'Tis the Season for Revenge from this author last year. It was one of my favorite reads of the year, and I can't wait to read more, and so I'm excited for this one. Then on June 27th is the notorious Lord Nightfall by Lorraine Heath, my absolute queen. I absolutely love all of her historicals. I read them all. Cannot wait for this one. This is the second book in her Chessmen series, so I'm excited to get to it. And then also on June 27th is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This one I have an arc of and need to get to it soon. I can't really remember the blurb for it right now, but I know that this author wrote The Dead Romantics that I loved last year. That totally like shocked me, surprised me, blew me away. Like, I wasn't expecting too much going into that one and absolutely adored it. So I'm excited to read more from this author. All right, so those are all the new releases that I'm excited for. The rest are just books that I want to get to that either came out recently or are backlist or whatever the case. I have the Cottonwood Creek series by Laura Pavlov. So the first book is Into the Tide. Cannot wait to get to this one. And then book 2 is Under the Stars in the Cottonwood Creek series. I'm going to be seeing this author at Book Bonanza. I did meet her at a couple other sightings, I think like Vegas and Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. And I have read her other like Honey Mountain series, but this one I'm excited to check out. I have heard great things about this series. And then Libby and Hoopla have been bringing the audiobooks lately. If you do not have like set up your library card with Libby and Hoopla and you're able to, I definitely recommend, because they've been blowing the audiobook game out of the water lately. Like, they've been getting all the good like indie romances and just like all the romances in general. Like, I have been living for Libby and Hoopla. So first up is Revive Me by J.L. Seegers. This is the second book, or like exists in the same world as her book Restore Me. So this follows a different friend, and this is like part 1, because I believe it's broken up into 3 parts, I want to say. I'm so excited to get to this one. Restore Me was one of my favorite reads of last year, and I've been meaning to get to the other books in the series ever since. I ended up grabbing The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I have been reading this author's like more current books. So I read Part of Your World last year and then Yours Truly this year. Loved both of those, and I realized I have never read like her first 3 original books, so I am going back and gonna go read those. So I have that one out from Libby that I want to get to. Then I have For Her Consideration by Amy Spalding. This one I know it's contemporary romance, and I believe it's a sapphic romance or has like LGBTQ plus rep in it, so I wanted to get to this one. I love the bright colors on the cover. I think this one's gonna be like a great summer read, so here's hoping. And then Libby also had a ton of Brittany C. Cherry books, so they had the remaining books in the Compass series that I've been meaning to finish ever since like they came out. So I read the first book in the series years ago when it came out and have been meaning to get to the rest. So book 2 is Eastern Lights, book 3 is Western Waves, and book 4 is Northern Stars. So I'm excited to see those on Libby and to get caught up in the series. And the rest are a couple books that I meant to get to in May and either didn't get to them or was like waiting on Libby holds or whatever the case. So I have Gravity by Tal Bauer. I need to read this author ASAP. I have heard amazing things about this one. And so this one is an MM hockey romance. Can't wait to get to it. Another one by this author is The Rest of Our Story, again by Tal Bauer. I believe this is MM hockey romance again. Again, I've heard great things and need to get to it and stop messing around. And to keep the like MM hockey romance going, I also have Iced Out by C.E. Ricky. This has been on my TBR for the past couple months. And I need to just stop because I see it on everybody's faves, like reading list or reading updates. So I need to get to it already. And again, stop messing around and diverting from my TBR. I need to get to it this month. Absolutely need to start it. I also have Scoring Wilder by R.S. Gray. I ended up grabbing the audio of this one. I had thought I read it years ago, but apparently I did not. And I've heard like great things that this is a lot of people's favorites by her. So I want to get to it. I believe it's a sports romance. I want to say soccer. Could be totally wrong. But either way, I can't wait to check it out. And then I have His Study in Scandal by Megan Frampton. This is the second book in her recent series. This one just dropped in May, but I'm waiting on the Libby hold. That should come in any day now. So can't wait to get to this one. I absolutely love the green on the cover. And then King of Pride by Anna Wong. Again, meant to get to this one in May and just totally didn't get to it in time. And I've heard great things. I know so many friends who have loved it. This is the follow-up to like King of Wrath or exists in that same series. So yeah, can't wait to get to this one as well. I also have a Bittersweet Heart by Helena Hunting. I just read the other book in the series, or the first book in this series, which was Little Lies. Absolutely loved that. It was one of my favorite reads of May and was the last book that I read for May. So I definitely want to roll into the second book, probably tonight, because I have the audios for that. So that one's on my TBR as well. This one I know is age gap where the heroine is older. It's like forbidden because I want to say she's like his professor and he's the student, but like they have a little hookup before that. So they don't realize that until later on. And then this one is like contemporary, new adult-ish, like they're in college and he plays hockey as well. So those are all the books that I plan to get to in June, or I should say the beginning of the books that I plan to get to, because I will definitely pick up more books than what I'm saying here because that's just how I read. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you're excited to get to in June, or if we're going to be reading any of the same books. I'd love to know that too. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I'll see you in my next one.